When you went and jammed late, okay, so the Heartbreakers, you had your separation, this and that. You didn't speak to Mike. Did you? Is that when did you speak to Mike? What came first? Well, obviously the Hall of Fame. That's when you connected with everybody again,
I saw everybody there. I
right
saw,
there.
yeah.
How was that?
I am truly humbled to be added to this list of people in this hall that have meant so much to my life. The music overcame me at a very early age and has consumed my life. I love everything about it, all the people I've met and the great times I've had. I'm very proud that we're being inducted as a group as Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers because they're the best fucking band in America.
Uh, a little awkward. It
Yeah.
was, uh, but it was beautiful for me because it was, I didn't want to do it. First, when they asked me, my first thought was, nah, it's cool. But it was actually Yoko who said, you probably need to do this. You need to do this. You
You
need to,
didn't want to do it, huh?
and no, I was apprehensive. And but when I walked in, I saw a lot. It was the last time I saw Tom. It was the last time I saw Howie. And they were beautiful cats, man. And I could see that their demons were starting to get a hold of them pretty good. And that freaked me out. So, and I tried with Howie, like everybody. I tried to talk to him about your demons, but he 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 dismissed me. And
Yeah.
Tom essentially, I got to tell Tom that I loved him, I respected him, I admired the work that he brought, all the great songs. I got to tell him, and that meant the world to me. So the trip was worth it. Just so I got the nice rub. I got the feeling, although like I said, it was a strange room to be in,
Mhm.
like what's he doing here? It was a little of that, but I loved it. I mean, I walked away from the experience going, well, shit, not everybody gets to go to the hall. That's cool.
No, no. A lot of people don't go, and the fans really take that hard. This guy doesn't deserve to be. That guy should be in there. You get all those people out there, but
Sure,
it's a
sure.
big, just to get recognized of the work that you have brought to rock and roll history, and you are in the history. You're not just Stan Lynch. You're a man in the history books of rock and roll. You're up there with the people who you loved, and it's incredible. So
Well,
you know what?
I don't even know how to process that. All I
It's
know is that,
crazy.
well, I'm having a great time, and I, I I don't want to have to learn another skill. This is it.
Yeah, I
It's
don't think you're gonna
gonna
have to, Stan. I think you're okay. I think you're doing. I maybe I need to get some tips from you over here. You ever talk to yourself like, Tom, do you hear me right now? What would you do you ever say anything like that ever?
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Of course I do. Of
Yeah.
course I mean, you, I mean, it's almost like you can't really get in the car or go to a restaurant without hearing the band. Like it's somewhere in there. And sometimes I think I'm getting pumped. Like my nephews will go like, Uncle Stan, did they know you were walking in? And I'm like, no, they're just playing the waiting. I don't know why, but you know, it's like
Wow.
so. But of course, I'm always like going like, wow, dude, you're here. Like, did we do that or did I just dream that? Like, did I make that up? Like, no, we actually made that record. Oh, that's a good record. Or, or I'll see something like they released, Cameron Crowe released an old movie that we did years ago for Long After Dark. And I saw pieces of that and I'm going, wow, look at them kids, man. They were having the time of their lives, man. They were really, we were friends. You could feel it. We were buddies, you could see it in
Yeah.
everybody's body posture. Like, and so yeah, I talk to him all the time, man. Of course. I take Howie for walks with me on the beach, man. I literally grab his hand and take him for a walk. It's like, of course, these guys,
I totally, what a fantastic bass player Howie was. And it's unfortunate he passed away at such a young age, a
Oh my
baby.
God, he's a kid, he's a little boy. And yeah, and it was to me, it's hard not to get mad, but I didn't know, I wasn't there. But part of me is like, how could you let this happen to Howie Epstein? You know what I mean? It's like, but that's, every man,
When somebody doesn't want to help themselves, you can't, there's nothing you can do.
not really.
And
No, there really isn't. And
there's nothing you can do. Well, I mean, Howie, one of my favorite bass players. That's why just his whole story, it bothers me because he's so young and such a great musician. But when you got your demons, that's what it is, you know?
oh, I mean, yeah, it'll always haunt me, like, but it's, I'm just glad I got to know him. I'm
Got to
glad
know
I got
them.
laughs with him. We got to, we had a lot of really good moments. I mean, yeah, Spinal Tap shit all the way. We had it all. I mean, it was like, so those guys are, yeah, I mean, if we meet again, that would be great. I'm all for it.
But Michelle, she's like, her pushing you to go. Because if you didn't go, you wouldn't even have that closure. At least you got to say what you said to these you guys. You know what I mean? The gang.
It was very important that I go. Also, I hadn't played drums in ages
Really?
when I went to do that. And Michelle had never actually even seen me play drums.
Wow.
Yeah, she'd never seen it. So it was like, she was probably more frightened. Like, are you sure you can do it? And I'm like, probably can play drums. It was like, but I hadn't touched the drums. When at the end of when I was out of the band, I put the drums down. I mean, I literally packed them up. I gave 99% of my equipment away. I just was like, we're done. And
Wow.
and I didn't even think about them again. I really didn't. And it was just sort of like, I thought about it in terms of when I was making demos. Like, I probably can play, I should do the drums for this, but I never thought about playing again ever. So I actually had to kind of practice for the Hall of Fame, like kind of learn how to play drums a little bit.
So you went, you set up the kit, and did you have in your house, or how did you go about
Yeah.
practicing? You just
Nice. Put a kid up in the garage and started banging like a little kid again. Just like, better go bait on my pots and pans for a week. Just make sure
like
I
a
can.
kid, like learning your own stuff, huh?
Exactly. Like, I just go make sure I can actually hold the line for 3 minutes.
Now, while learning everything, did you say, "Hey, man, I should have played it this way"? Now that did you try to, or you go, "Wow, that was really genius of me back then"? Because you're
No,
different
I
from
think
me.
I'm like, I think I've forgiven all my sins as a drummer. I've forgiven them all. It's like, forgive him, he did not know.
Now, so then you do the Hall of Fame. Then afterwards, you reconnect with Mike. How was that when Matt Log went to play? When he
That's many years later.
many years later, yeah, we're going now.
Well, Matt's a great drummer. I
Yeah,
mean, Matt was so kind because I called him when Mike called me, and I just said, "Hey, Matt," he goes, "Oh man, great to hear from you." And I was saying, like, "Look, I'm trying to learn your charts." I said, "I've never done that before. I've never learned anyone else's drums ever. Like, this is a first for me. I've only learned how to be me." And he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it, man. Mike doesn't care. Just get a groove. Don't," because I'm going like, "Are you doing a slip a diddle or like I'm trying to get my figuring it all out. I can't write a chart with a shit anyway."
yeah.
And Matt can because he's that guy. And I said, "Man, I'm having a little trouble understanding some of your pieces." And he's like, "Man, Lynch, give it up." And he was so sweet. He sent me this fabulous drum workshop bass drum pedal because I said I'm struggling. And one just showed up at my door, and he's that guy. He's like,
Yeah.
drummers are generally the salt of the earth. They're generally to give you the shirt off your back. And he wanted me to have a good time, immediately. And Mike was the same way. I'm going, "Man, Matt." He's like, "Yeah, just catch a groove." And I don't think I even got to rehearse. Mike, I was hoping I'd get a few days rehearse, but it was during COVID, and
Mm.
literally walked out cold, essentially, to play a Dirty Knob set. And I'm like, "Well, I don't know what the hell's going on." So, but Mike, he's great. Mike's another one of those guys who's just, you
He is great. It's funny when you hear him sing now. I go, God, him and Tom. They're so much. They're so similar. It's almost like one. The tone and the voice. You know what I mean?
Well, they
They
marinated in the same water.
These are the best of times. You can have with me.
so that'd be kind of cool if the knobs and you guys go out even together as a
I would love it. I don't know if that's what Mike would want to do. I just don't know. But I'd love, hey, look, I want to, like Ron Blair, the original bass player, still alive. Mike's still alive. Ben Munt's alive. I'm alive. I would love to make a noise with those guys. I didn't even want to go. It's not like I want to tour. I just wouldn't want to go into somebody's garage and just jam because it's a really special group of cats. But yeah, Mike getting to connect. The most exciting thing about the knobs was that I connected with Mike.
Listen to the stories we could tell.
And he had a great band. He's got, Jason Sine playing guitar, fantastic, and like Lance Morrison's playing bass. Great. I mean, they were great
yeah.
cats, man. And so I got to be in a band and they took me in, you know what I mean? So and they didn't give me a whole lot of shit.
Because now, does he have the same studio that where he used to rehearse with Tom? That's the same lot.
So, I mean,
I think it's the rehearsal studio.
oh, well, there's that. Yeah, there's that. But then Mike has his own studio.
It's his own studio.
Oh, yeah. Mike's a very accomplished engineer, as well as a producer and guitar player and songwriter. He's got all the abilities to assemble music at every level. He's got all of and he's got sonic engineering from the ground up, from a 4-track.
Wow.
He started with like literally probably an SM57 and a 4-track and figuring out how to assemble records. Some of Mike's demos are damn near a record. They were so close that when we went to make some of those records using his demo as a template, they were that good. You were like, well, just do that. Mike is he's a craftsman. He really is. He's a furniture maker, man, of the highest order.
Absolutely, man. How about when you connected with him, just playing live and sitting back there with the knobs, the love from the audience? How did that make you feel from them
Well, it was a little
seeing you?
scary. I didn't know I didn't know how I would be accepted. I didn't really know what was going to happen. But Mike made it really fun. He always gave me a love. He said something loving and kind every night, and he said more things to me and about me in a month or two on the road than he did in 20 years. We talked more in those couple months than we talked in 20 years.
Pretty wild.
It was interesting. But I think he was coming out of his shell as well. Like,
Yeah.
Tom had passed and he's not under any scrutiny from Tom anymore. And it was like good and bad. He was free. He was like, that's what I was feeling from Mike, is like, hey, I got to find myself. I got to find out who I am. And I had already done that 20, 30 years ago. I had already done the exploration, found out who I was. So I was watching Ben and Mike sort of
What you went through.
Yeah, I was watching them, evolve without a shadow on them anymore.
Isn't it crazy how life is, how we adapt and how we learn and how we process and do things at the moment, and sit back, and it's all crazy. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, we learn when somebody is gone and not here no more. It's like, okay, this is the way I gotta be at this point in my life. This is the only way to be.
Yeah.
So I have no guilt, because guilt is the worst thing to have,
Yes.
It really is.
Well,
Man, Stan, I want to talk more with you about it. I don't want to take up all your day because there's so much stuff you've worked with, like with the band, which I love the band, all this great stuff. I mean, I hope you come back and me and you could talk more.
hey, look, let's put a pin in it. And but like I said, I really, really, I'm indebted to you for spreading the word about my
Oh, come on,
band.
man.
And just put it out there. And yeah, but don't be afraid, man. Like I think we got another video. The record comes out in May. If you hear something you like or see something about us, get to me again, man. Come on.
I know there's going to be fans out there. You didn't ask him this, you didn't ask him that. We'll do a part two. But in the meantime, the Speak Awards links will be in the description down below for you crazy
Thank you.
kids out there. And click right above here. There'll be an icon pop in there. 2 videos are out now, but there'll be another one. And you'll go right to the website, follow them, and subscribe to their YouTube channel and give them a thumbs up and post your comments. Let the Speak Awards grow. Let's watch them grow and demand them to come to your town, kids, okay?
We'd love to.
That's all we have time for today, but don't worry, we have more stand coming your way. In the meantime, make sure you check out the Speak Awards. You could order their music. Just go right into the descriptions down below. And if you want to see this episode unedited, become a member. Join the club right here on YouTube. Now click on your screen for our next episodes and make sure you subscribe. Hit the notifications tab and don't forget to drop us a comment down below. Let's start a conversation. I want to hear from you. Who loves you, baby? We do. Thanks for watching.